In fact, if Doris and Henry don't offend you, there's probably something very wrong with you. Doris and Henry are equal opportunity offenders. Any similarities to any persons living or dead are completely on purpose.
as bad as it is from the congregation, Henry, you should see what it's like from being in the choir. First of all, he makes us wear those stuffy, hot choir clothes. Now, Henry, you have worked hard to buy me all these beautiful clothes. Show them off.
It's true.
He makes me cover them up in one of them hot choir clothes.
There you go. And you know, you ought to have the fruits of your labors. When you spend that kind of money, you got to be able to show that.
People love the way I dress. It's inspirational to them.
You are an inspiration.
I'm a fashion queen. I can't help it.
Some women got it, some don't. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you. Well, to go on with my documentation, I don't know what that boy does with his time.
Yeah, I wondered that myself.
I called the church the other day to report that my neighbor's brother's boss's wife was in the hospital for surgery. You know, that kind of fix your nose. I was very specific, and you know how I am about the time.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I was specific.
Don't tell me he didn't show up.
He most certainly did not. He sent every one of them team members he calls the pastoral care team. I mean, the man only works 2 days a week. I don't know what he needs a whole team for. But lo and behold, right in the middle of everything, that Craig Thomas shows up all out of breath and running up there and looking for us. And I mean, how did he get on the pastoral care team anyway? Did you know that he used to play rock music?
I heard that about him, Darcy. I heard that about him.
Just lately, he's been trying to get all up in there with that Christian music, but he's a rock music aficionado. I don't know what he was doing up there, and I don't think that his prayers meant anything at all. The pastor should have been there.
Should have been there, Darcy. It's always good. And he wasn't there.
The woman was having a rhinoplasty.
A rhino who? Now, Darcy, you know that I got that dyslexia, and yet I don't know them big words. You know, in fact, it even hinders me from being able to read the word in the way that I should.
Well, and the fact that you used the Bible to fix that couch when the leg broke out from under it a few years back.
Well, it was a perfect fit. I was beginning to get another Bible. I mean, you know.
Speaking of poor little Diane.
Diane. Now, she's one of my favorite people, I tell you. She reminds me of my favorite movie.
Which one was that?
Let's see if you can remind me. See if you we represent. Well, you're already giving them a king's breakfast for crying out loud. You gotta give them a gift. I'll tell you what, Darcy, I went to one of those breakfasts.
I remember that.
That was nuts. I'll tell you what, I got a whiff of one of them fellers. Woo! Like a lost my waffle, I'll tell you. I'm telling you, go to all that expense. Jesus said, you're always going to have the poor with you. And I don't think we ought to be trying to change the Bible.
Maybe we ought to talk to Pastor Larry about that.
Yeah, talk to him. But you know, I tried to talk to him about that. Yeah, you know how that conversation ended?
I can only imagine.
He said he'd be praying for me.
Well, he prayed for somebody. He didn't pray for my neighbor's boss.
Well, I'll tell you, that's right.
Anyway, you know, I felt like I had to serve on that committee, and
Your service is your strong suit.
It is. They needed a voice of reason in there. And so they were looking for ideas. So I said, you know all those placemats and napkins that I made last year that didn't sell at the bazaar? Well, you know that homeless people don't have any of them. And I suggested that we give them those.
Well, baby, I bet that dazzled them.
They were speechless.
I bet they were.
Well, anyway, that little Diane woman said, why don't we give toothpaste and toothbrushes and something to carry them in? Now, Henry, Let me ask you something. Where are they gonna brush their teeth? They're homeless, for Christ's sake.
It ought to be obvious. You know, some people, they just speak before they even think. Don't know, Doris. You know, it's up to us to try to help.
It is.
You know?
It is.
It is. You know, I just get so tired sometimes trying to help people in this church learn how to do things in the right and godly way.
Don't get weary well doing, Henry, because after all, we are the pillars of the assembly. That's right, amen. Praise you, Jesus.
God has called us, you know, and well,
Yes.
we're just going to have to, you know, do a little something to try to help influence things, you know. Now that the preacher's been doing all that preaching about tithing and giving, on and on and on. I didn't think he was over here to stop like that.
I believe it did.
And then people started tithing and giving. Now when we talk about pulling the purse strings on it, it doesn't have any effect whatsoever.
I don't know what we're going to do. He's confused. The boy's confused.
The boy is confused. There is no doubt about it. You know, I'll tell you another thing he's confused about, and I think I know the reason why.
Oh, really?
Well, you know how he's been preaching on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
The boy's preaching along, and he keeps saying, now you know I got that dyslexia, and well, I didn't go too far in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get a chance to read the Bible too much, but
That's true.
you know, but even I know that the Old Testament is in the Old Testament.
That's right. Everybody knows.
And the New Testament is in the New Testament.
That's right. Amen. You preach it.
The boy keeps saying that the Old Testament is in the New Testament, and the New Testament is in the Old Testament. I mean, my goodness. You know, I think I know why he's so confused. It's all them people talking at him when he's preaching.
Henry, I can't even text Barbara during church. Some people are talking at me.
Hard to keep your concentration.
Well, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe you can help him. Bless his heart.
I try. The elders are supposed to teach the younger men.
Well,
But you know, they got to be willing to listen.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, well, baby,
Bless
we
his heart.
don't shed any tears over it. You know, some of God's called us to be the voice of wisdom in this congregation. And we just have to make sure that our voices are heard. We'll just have to make sure we make it to all the meetings.
Yes.
And make sure that we be the salt and the shining light that we have always been, the Pine Valley Church of God.
You're so inspirational.
And after all, we are
The pillars of the assembly.
You are the kind of pillars that turn into salt, I believe.
You mentioned that salt, but, you know.
All right.
It was just a joke, Richard.
Equal time. Actually, I remember the first time I ever encountered Doris and Henry. It was in the fellowship hall sometime in the 70s in a banquet.
Yeah.
And these guys have been doing it ever since. Didn't they do an awesome job?
That one of the older ladies that was there came up to us afterward and said, I enjoyed what you did. I didn't understand it all, but I
I wish you'd help me give these two guys a big hand.